Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to cover all the matters related to viewport basics. And we want to gain knowledge about how to rotate, pan, zoom, and change setting inside viewport. So for getting a start, we need to load a model or load a sample project from Substance Painter. For this stage, I'm going to load a sample. As you can see, I'm going to File, Open Sample. And now I can select among the Substance Painter sample itself. So let's go for the MeetMat. It's a best project for starting and learning about Substance Painter. So how we can navigate inside viewport. In Substance Painter, we have two different windows, and the 3D window is like any other software in the 3D world. We can rotate, zoom, and pan the camera around the 3D model. And we have 2D window that show us the result of the material and the shader in the Substance Painter on the UV. And we can do zoom with the scroll button. As you can see, the middle button on the mouse. Okay. Or we can zoom with the holding Alt and holding right mouse button and moving the mouse to have zoom like this. And we can pan with the holding Alt and moving the mouse. That's it. And we can even rotate the 2D view like this with holding Alt and holding left key on the mouse and moving the mouse. So whenever we lost in the 2D view, or maybe we have some rotation for some reason and we want to reset everything, we can just press F and everything is reset and we can continue our work. And exactly with those shortcuts that I show you, we can do rotation on the 3D view, as you can see, with holding Alt and left click on the mouse. And as you can see, we can rotate around the model. And with holding Alt and holding right click on the mouse, as you can see, we can do the dolly zoom. And we can do the zoom, but with step-by-step method with the scroll button, as you can see. And we can pan the camera with holding Alt and holding middle mouse button. So this is the way that we can navigate inside Substance Painter viewport. For accessing to shortcut list in the viewport, you can just hold the shortcut like Alt and you can see a pop-up here. And you can find out, okay, if I hold Alt and left key on the mouse, I can rotate the camera. And if I hold the Control, you can see all the shortcut with the Control. And if you hold the Shift, you can see all the shortcut related to the Shift key. So in this way, we can figure out if we don't remember which is the shortcut for that purpose. In this way, this is very helpful whenever we forget about a specific shortcut or action inside Substance Painter. Okay, for moving the HDR light that's going to our lighting source inside Substance Painter, we need to hold the Shift key and right key on the mouse and move the mouse. And as you can see, we can control the lighting situation. That's it. And whenever we hold Alt and left key and we rotate around the 3D model, we can hold Shift and the camera should be snapping to the main and default axes like front, left, top, button, back, or right. So in this way, I can fix my camera like this. And we can even switch between perspective mode and orthographic mode by coming over here or using F5 or F6 on the keyboard. Okay, so for F6, we are going to orthographic mode. And as you can see, there is no perspective on the camera. And with F5, now we are just switching to perspective mode. Okay, we can use F1 for 2D and 3D view on the viewport at the same time, F2 for just only 3D view, F3 for just only 2D view, and we can use F4 for switching between 2D and 3D. Okay, and we can do it in here. And if you have a second monitor and you prefer to have, for example, 2D view on the second monitor, you can just come over here and use Open 2D in Window. And now, as you can see, we have a floating window and we can move it to the other monitor. And we can use the second monitor as a 2D view. And we can even use F4 for switching between 2D and 3D between the window in the second monitor and the viewport in the main monitor. This is the way that we can control the viewport in Substance Painter. As you can see, we have a list for the camera and we can select between the camera that we set before in the 3D modeling software. For example, like in 3ds Max or in Blender, we set the camera and we export the camera with the FX file. And when we import the model inside the Substance Painter, we check, okay, we have the camera and let's please import the camera for us. And after that, we can control which camera we can see inside the 3D viewport. Okay, now we have a list here which we can switch between material, the single channel related to the material PBR channels, and for the mesh maps. We are going to cover this list after we explain the texture settings and the channels inside the Substance Painter. But now we just need to know if we want to change, for example, to base color. We can do that in here. And let's create a fill layer, for example. And as you can see, we can see what's happening in the base color channel. And we can switch to roughness. Or even we can switch to material mode and control the lighting situation and see what's happening inside the material. And for the shortcut, M is for the material. As you can see in here, we have show material when we press M. C is for the single channel. Okay, this is the normal, this is the height, normal plus height plus mesh, base color, metallic, roughness, or etc. And I'm going to press M. Now we have the material mode. And B is for the mesh maps, which is related to the maps when we are baking from the low poly to low poly or high poly to low poly model. So this is the mesh maps, this is the single channel, and this is the material mode. And even you can switch to, for example, mask, if you create a mask on the layer with this list. So we are going to cover that